one of the final topics is talking about capabilities to assist migration and self-registration. So what do I mean by migration? Well, migration. Let's say you're going to a new token, Vasco mobile token, where you're going to be using your mobile phone to authenticate who the user is with the token. The question is, do you really want everybody to come in Monday morning and be forced to use the token? That's a hard way to do it, right? And a lot of these web access solutions, when you switch to a new authentication mechanism, it's kind of all or nothing. So with Trust Builder, you're really given the capability to do whatever you want, right? I've talked about the workflow. You can set up policies so that, first thing in the morning, maybe only the IT group is going to be perverted, or maybe only user IDs that begin with, XYZ. Maybe only this division. You basically have the control to say which users are going to use which technology. And if 90% of them want to keep using the old stuff and you only want to migrate 10% that first Monday morning, that's what you do. We've also done kind of dynamic registration as well, where you can perhaps give the user the choice on their own. As you're authenticating them, you can say, well, ID and password will work today just like it always has, but click here if you want to register for a token today. And then you're kind of letting the user register at their own pace to get the token, link it with their Web Access Management ID, and enable the use of it when they decide. And then, of course, you could always force them to. You need to do it 30 days, and then once 30 days is up, you're going to force them to do it. But again, having these capabilities to set the migration and progress the migration as you want and at the pace you want is very important to success. And I think I've talked about self-registration and enrollment earlier. What are your choices here? Well, obviously, you could have an administrator who's going to define the devices in some directory or database, and then maybe they're going to map the identity of each device to a particular user. But that ends up getting costly and difficult and a lot of overhead and maybe even a wall, kind of like a burden. It's preventing your users from getting their devices. So with Trust Builder, you can actually set up self-registration where you can, a lot of these hard token vendors have the capability. You can mail the tokens out to the users, and then once the users get them, you can direct them to a website, happens to be backed by Trust Builder, and say go there to validate and register your token at your convenience. They can log in, and the gung-ho ones are going to go out and do it immediately, and they can link immediately and make use of it. The people who are a little slower adopters, they're going to go in at their own speed and do it when they want. But the key here is, we can authenticate the user, the device, know who they are, link their token to that particular user, and get them up and going without a central administrator overhead. This typically will save you time, save you money, and we can actually do it pretty easily. It could be interactive with the user and entering data. We can even offer a QR code scan that I'll show you a little demo of later, where your mobile device simply scans this QR code, and boom, it's going to take the fingerprint of the phone and register it with the particular user on the access management system and have them set up to go. So then, self-registration, a key step that I think a lot of people forget, is an important step, and that could be an unwieldy step if you don't have a way to do that easily.